Hey, hello, hello. Today's episode is one of my favorite topics, so I am happy you're here. We will be talking about something that explains a lot about who we are, how we lead, how we love, and how we move through the world. Welcome back to Off Limits. I'm Ellen Roars, and again, delighted that you're here for today's episode. On this podcast, we talk about all things on mindset, money, and meaning, because nothing is off limits when you're living on purpose and in alignment with who you truly are. Let's get started. We hear a lot about personality types, alpha, beta. We can be a little bit of both, right? You know the drill. The alpha is loud, bold, always in charge. And the beta is more behind the scenes, supportive, loyal. You always lean more towards one, right? But what if you're neither? What if you're not interested in the spotlight, but you still command respect? Or what if you're not trying to fit into a social mold, but people still remember you? Well, then you just might be a Sigma. In this episode, we're breaking it all down. What is a Sigma female or male? What makes them different than an alpha or a beta? And yes, surprising, Sigma men exist too. You're probably, well, I will say you've probably encountered them without even realizing it. We'll start with men because they're easy to talk about. And then we'll get into women because yes, I know I've been one my entire life. And then we'll also explore how this shows up in relationships and the way that we build our lives around these personalities. So if you've ever felt like you're not part of the crowd, but you're not mad about it, then this one is for you. Right away, we're going to jump into Sigma guys. Yes, they are real. And I know you've met one. He's not the loud alpha pounding his chest. He's not the beta waiting to be led. He's the quiet powerhouse, the one who's successful, smart, grounded, but never showy. Maybe a Keanu Reeves type, beloved, humble, private. James Bond, especially the Daniel Craig's version, independent, calm, mysterious. Sigma men are introspective. They're strategic and selective. They're not cold, but they are discerning. They'll show up deeply when it matters, but don't expect them to play games or chase attention. All right, let's go on to the females. Let's put a face with a name. It helps me. So think Princess Diana, graceful, kind, yet quietly independent and strong. I sure loved her. Kate Middleton, again, elegant, composed, never attention-seeking. We've got Joanna Gaines, creative, private, rooted in home and family, building an empire in silence. Well, now she's everywhere, but she started, just slowly building, right? And Melania Trump, whatever you believe politically, she is a walking Sigma, quiet, poised, fiercely private, never performative. These women may be in the public eye, but they're not performing. They lead with grace, keep their circles tight, and never need to be the loudest in the room. So I want to define the Sigma female. The Sigma female typically is the lone wolf, not because she's lonely, but because she thrives on independence. She recharges alone, not in groups. She has a tight circle, not a massive following. She leads without demanding attention. She doesn't need external validation. She holds herself to high standards, chooses peace over drama every time. This is how I know that I am probably more Sigma than any of the other alpha or beta. You guys know the Bravo station? I don't know it. I know I can't watch it because there's too much drama. So even what is it? The Housewives? Man, most Sigma, you'll know a woman is Sigma if she cannot watch the Bravo channel because there's far too much drama on it. So that might be your first way. Ask yourself, can I watch Bravo and enjoy it? If it's no, if it's a hard no, you're definitely a Sigma probably, or you could be a little bit of a beta. But anyways, definitely a Sigma will choose peace over drama anytime, every time. Isn't afraid to say no, even if it's unpopular. Sometimes for me being Sigma empathetic, I do struggle saying no, and I've had to work on that. But when I know it's unpopular and I truly know no is the best response for me, I'll say it, whether people like it or not. And often a Sigma is misunderstood. Some people think she's distant. Some people think she's cold, maybe mysterious, but that's just because she's not constantly explaining herself. And that can be very uncomfortable for people who live for approval. How you might know that you're a Sigma, or more so how I realized I was a Sigma. I'll share my story and then let me know your thoughts. Are you one or not? Do you know someone that's a Sigma? Maybe your best friend is Sigma, or you're dating, maybe man you're dating or your husband's Sigma. For me, I didn't necessarily read an article or take a quiz. I do have a quiz in the footnotes. So take a look, take a quiz if you're curious. Are you Alpha, Beta, or Sigma? But I just lived it. So starting in high school, I really recognized it. I never wanted to be tied to one friend group. I liked floating between the different cliques. I don't like cliques. I wanted to be friends with everyone, not because I need this to be showy. It was more, I didn't want to be absorbed by one tribe. I wanted that freedom, that independence, and I wanted to get to know everybody because each person had something that I loved about them. I'm not a fan of cliques, still am not a fan of cliques. So later in my corporate life, same story. I saw that. I never wanted to truly play the game or be in the in crowd, shall we say. I like to get to know all the different groups. I never have been one to laugh at the right people's jokes just because, or faking my way up the corporate ladder. I absolutely don't respect that. Never have, never will. And I'll say I've always been more loyal than loud, more intentional than impulsive. Not to say if you're Sigma, you can be impulsive, but there's probably intention behind it. So for me, yes, I have had times of an impulse decision, but there's always intention behind it. More authentic than accommodating. Same thing. I am occasionally accommodating. I think that's the big sister in me or the oldest daughter syndrome, but always more authentic than accommodating. So even now, another good example, if you're Sigma, social media, you might be wanting to grow it for business purposes, but you're not seeking followers for validation. So a lot of times Sigma could care less about that. And there's a few I really love when they're able to share their political views and not care what people think. So they might share something and lose oodles of followers because of what they shared, but they don't care. It's not the validation they're seeking. They're wanting to be authentic. And that's huge. That's so important. So I think it is nice for us to all to have a little bit of these personalities, whether it's the Alpha, Beta, and the Sigma. But again, you usually align with one over the other. Let's go into friendships. Friendships. I know for myself, I love deeply. If you're a Sigma, you love deeply, but you don't typically chase it. You're not going to beg someone to stay. If you're meant to have someone in your circle, you'll know it, you'll feel it, they'll feel it, and you'll show up for each other. But a Sigma is not into a performative friendship. And that is the core of Sigma energy. It's not better than, it's just different. It's a quiet strength. There's an inner peace about them and unshakable independence. It's really interesting. So again, there are challenges though to being a Sigma, and we'll talk about those too. Let's be honest. It can be hard because you might struggle to ask for help. I know I do. Again, that might be the oldest daughter syndrome. You are used to doing things alone. So sometimes it's like, I'd rather do it alone. I don't want to ask for help. You often feel misunderstood. Not everybody gets you. And it's a smaller percentage of folks that are Sigmas out there. You might appear intimidating to others without trying. It's an unintentional thing. You don't try to be intimidating, but people might find you intimidating. Some find it hard to let people in. That's not necessarily the case for me, but I know that is one of the qualities where some people find that hard. So let me know if you're a Sigma that doesn't like to let people in. I'm curious. This one is me for sure. Resist traditional paths. So most Sigmas resist the traditional path. So like the corporate roles or the cookie cutter relationships. They're not the typical ones to find their person in college, get married, and have kids. Not to say you can't be Sigma and have marriage and kids, but you're not typically that standard, the norm, shall we say. Built different. And it's a beautiful thing. It's great. We're all different, right? So I want to go into love, marriage, and the Sigma way. So if you have a Sigma in your life, whether you're dating one, you're married to one, I'm going to share a little insight into how to handle them, because I will say married to a Sigma female, I know could be a little challenging just knowing who I am, or to a Sigma man. I think I would love to be married to a Sigma man. That's the type of man I think I need. But let's go into the world of dating or being married to a Sigma, because here's the truth. Sigma women are magnetic, but we are not for everyone. We don't subscribe to the timeline the world taught us. I kind of mentioned that earlier, the one that meet your husband in college, get married in your 20s, buy a house with a white picket fence, and start a family by 30. Not typically your Sigma gal or Sigma man. And it's not that we're against it. Absolutely not. Like, heck, in my 20s, I thought I would absolutely be married with kids. It's more decide not to follow a formula. So it's just never needed to really have that formula to feel complete. And I think that's, as I learn more about being Sigma, I feel so much better about myself, because sometimes I'm like, why am I so content in this space of being 44, single, never married? So the more I understand myself, the better. And I'm like, I get it. If you are a woman in your 30s, 40s like me, maybe with a corporate background, a strong sense of self, a fierce work ethic, you might feel this deeply. Let me just encourage you, especially if you're in your 40s. You didn't miss your chance. You didn't get left behind, and you simply didn't settle. So it's a good place to be. Sigma women tend to be late bloomers in love. That gives me a little happiness, a little hope. Not because we're difficult, but because we're selective. We crave depth for sure. We need alignment. We don't do surface level connections just to fill a void. So again, that's where I'm like, I want a man that has some depth. And let's be real, some men struggle with that. I think what I find from my pattern, a lot of times I'll attract a neat man, and I've always dated great guys. But once they get to know me, I think they're a little like, oh, she's a little too much for me. So it's going to take a special man to jibe with me. And I'm happy. I'm okay with that. Let's dive a little more. So again, a Sigma will crave depth. They need alignment, and they don't do the surface level connections. So why do men not always love a Sigma? Because if you're used to women people pleasing, overgiving, or self-abandoning just to keep the peace, a Sigma woman is going to feel like a total curveball. She's not going to lose herself to gain someone else. But if you earn her loyalty, you'll have it for life. So that is the beauty of a Sigma female. More on the whole Sigma. If you're married to a Sigma, bless you. You will already know. What does a Sigma female need especially? She'll need a little bit of space, and just don't take it personal. She may not always gush words of affirmation 24/7. So I don't know. I am one that loves affirmations. I give them quite generously, but not all do. Sigma women out there, let me know if you are a big gusher of affirmations or not so much. One thing is true about these Sigma ladies is the loyalty runs very deep. She will handle a lot of things on her own. So sometimes you just need to say, hey, you need some help, honey? She needs to feel chosen and seen though, too. So even though she can handle things on her own, let her know that you see her and you choose her. She's not high maintenance, but she definitely has high standards. So something to keep in mind. The Sigma woman isn't seeking drama. We know that from the earlier conversation. She does not like chaos or performative love. She wants peace, partnership, and purpose. And when she finds it, she's all in without losing herself. That's the key. She's not looking to be completed. She's looking to be understood. Many Sigma women, especially in their 40s with high achieving careers, remain single longer, not because they can't find love, but because they won't settle. They don't subscribe to the society's norm. We talked a little bit, the college boyfriend, marriage by 28, white picket fence, 2.5 kids. Is that a thing? We'll make it a thing. When younger, they might have expected that path, but deep down, it never quite aligned. We bloom later in love because we crave depth, not just company. Again, we kind of talked about it. Men out there, if you're married to a Sigma woman, just give her a little space, but definitely show her support. Know that she's super loyal, and her love language is really that loyalty. Don't expect performative affection, just substance. You'll get that. Let her lead in strength, but she's going to trust you to lead in your strength. She's going to need that. So married to a Sigma male, let's flip it. He is the rarest of the rare, not controlling, not passive, just quietly in control of his own life. So what is it like being married to him, a Sigma male? If you've ever been in a relationship with a Sigma man, I know I have a couple times, I know that they fit me well. You'll know that a Sigma man is not like the others. He's not loud or dominating like the alpha. He's not passive or overly agreeable like the beta. He's not needy like the gamma or the delta types. He's independent. He's quietly confident. He doesn't speak praise or validation, but he thrives on respect. It's very peaceful, but not passive. He avoids drama, but he's deeply aware. He's grounded, but sometimes distant. He's in his own head a lot, which is a little bit unique because most men, you could be asking them what they're thinking about, and they're just thinking about what they're going to have for dinner or something simple. They're not as complex as a lot of us ladies in general, but a Sigma man will be a little bit more in his thoughts and head. Loyal, but never possessive. He gives freedom and expects it too. So he'll need his freedom just like a Sigma female. He's purpose driven. He doesn't chase, same kind of thing. He's not like, he doesn't chase clout, I should say. He chases meaning. He doesn't need to be told he's doing great. He already knows it. He's confident. But I will say a Sigma male does appreciate a partner who sees him and values his calm leadership. So that's a nice thing to reassure him. What are some of the challenges? The Sigma male may take up a little more time to open up emotionally. His privacy is sacred, so give him that time and space. He can be hard to read. If you're someone who needs constant verbal affirmation, you might not get that right away or ever, but that's okay because there's going to be a lot of other positives. He might prefer solo problem solving to collaborative processing. So that's one thing to understand. He might be the type that says, oh, I need some time, after he gets back from work and wants to go solo on his own for a bit. Just give him that space. But if you've loved a Sigma male, know this. He's not disinterested. He's focused. He's not cold. He's contained. And if he's chosen you, it wasn't on impulse. It was very intentional. A couple examples of the famous Sigma male. We talked about a few already, but yeah, Keanu Reeves for sure. Tom Hardy, intense, introspective, does his own thing. Oh, Henry Cavill. Ooh, yeah. Let's see, Daniel Craig, we talked about him too. Johnny Depp, they're just a few that I was thinking of. But he will avoid drama. He needs his freedom. He thinks deeply, loves intentionally, leads with peace, not pressure. He might be a little slow to open, like we said, seem maybe emotionally reserved. He prefers problem solving alone. And this means for you, respecting his independence, not rushing emotional intimacy, giving him a little bit space to warm up, not needing him to be louder, but just present. Just his presence is key because he might not express what he's thinking, but having his presence is amazing. So letting him lead in his own quiet way. If he's with you, it's not performance, it's purpose. So again, it's very intentional. If you're with a Sigma man, he chose you, and that's a really good feeling. Let's go to some reflective questions. I want to ask you a few. Grab your notebook or just let them sit with you. Do you feel more energized or alone with others? Do you feel more energized or alone with others? How often have you felt different? And in those relationships, how do I navigate relationships, especially in a career? Do I care more about alignment than attention? Is alignment more important, being authentic, than attention? Have I ever felt misunderstood for simply being myself? Have you ever felt misunderstood for simply being yourself? Do I lead quietly, but still leave a lasting impression? That's important. Do you feel like you can lead and leave an impression without being overzealous? If you've answered yes to most of those, welcome to the club, homie. You just might be a Sigma. I think you are. So if you listen this long, you probably are a Sigma. We will definitely be talking more about personalities. I love it. So we'll just say that this is the beginning. We'll do deeper dives soon. Like, what happens when a Sigma dates an Alpha? Can two Sigmas make it work? I think so. Let's see, how to handle conflict when you're built for solitude. That's a good one. But for now, just know your energy type can change your relationships, your work, your life. So be aware of them. It's nice to know. And it's nice to know your partners, your friends, families. So what do you think? Are you Sigma? Message below. What are you? Alpha, beta, Sigma? Maybe you're a combo. Do you know someone else that is? And this episode isn't about putting people in boxes. It's really just about understanding yourself more deeply and feeling seen in a world that sometimes misunderstands quiet strength. So you want to know for sure what you are? Take my free personality quiz to find out if you're Sigma, Alpha, or Beta. It's all in the show notes below. It's from the ellenroars.com personality quiz. I will put everything in the show notes. If this resonated with you, share with your people, especially that friend who's quietly killing it behind the scenes. Until next time, I am sending you so much love. And remember, nothing is off limits when you are living on purpose. All right. We'll see you next time. Bye.